To fight gun violence, local police departments are turning to gunshot detection companies like Spot Shot. The technology is designed to identify the sound and location of gunshots and send alerts to police.
But how effective are these surveillance systems? Investigative reporter Evan Watson explains what police say and what the data shows.
But if we don't get those calls, we kind of start behind the 8 ball. Our time frame starts. But ShotSpotter allows it, it's almost instantaneous.
Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew praises ShotSpotter for quicker response times to shootings, gathering evidence and clearing investigations. His department was the first in Hampton Roads to use the acoustic gunshot detection system.
It's been very, very valuable in some of the investigations that we've dealt with.
But many details about the technology and its usage are a mystery to the public.
We'd like to show you where each sensor is, but police departments say that information is protected, exempt from public records requests. What we do know are coverage areas. For example, about 3 square miles here in South Newport News.
It is strictly because of firearms, shootings, and homicides that we have in that particular area. That's why that area was selected.
Another mystery, how many ShotSpotter activations have led to evidence and arrests in Newport News?
And why are you not able to share that evidence data in response to, say, my public records request?
I don't want to hurt or damage or cause any problems to any active or ongoing cases. So in all due respect, there's just some things that I'm not going to jeopardize.
While Chief Drew says the technology is very effective, citizens like Jaquana Phillips want proof.
I don't think that information should be concealed. I think people should start comparing the numbers to see how crime has shaped it and shifted since they have implemented those things.
On the south side, Virginia Beach Police added ShotSpotter last year in 2 parts of the city, the Oceanfront and Western Bayside areas. Emails show Chief Paul Newdigate and department leaders were excited to use a pilot program to help convince city leaders to finalize an annual contract with the company. Virginia Beach Police have also been quick to promote ShotSpotter when alerts have contributed to arrests in recent press releases. Early data paints a more complete picture. In the first 4 months of using ShotSpotter, Virginia Beach Police received 101 alerts. Those notifications led to arrests just under 5% of the time. Most of these arrests were for reckless handling of a gun. ShotSpotter alerts helped police find 3 shooting victims, but no arrests were made in these shootings. So how effective are gunshot detection systems?
What we found in Chicago is that more than 9 times out of 10, when police go out in response to a ShotSpotter alert, they don't find any kind of gun-related incident.
Jonathan Manis is an attorney for the MacArthur Justice Center, which analyzed more than 46,000 ShotSpotter alerts in Chicago over the past 3 years. He says there's very little evidence that gunshot detection systems reduce gun violence, and questions about how well this technology identifies gunshots.
Police are going out in response to alerts about supposed shots fired much more frequently. Which is, a burden on police resources, in addition to, of course, the cost of the contract for the system itself.
Newport News taxpayers are paying $195,000 each year for ShotSpotter, and Virginia Beach taxpayers are paying $280,000 to cover a larger area.
One important question is to think about, can we be spending this money in ways that will prevent and reduce violence in the first place?
Then there's the question about where this technology is used. In Newport News, Phillips says she is grateful for quicker response times to shootings, but she also knows who lives in the areas that the sensors cover.
I think these technologies has only been implemented in communities of Black and brown and communities of minority. That's what I think it all goes back to like the systematic things.
Manis says if officers are responding to many more shots fired alerts, it could lead to more unnecessary and potentially hostile stops that everyone wants to avoid. Chief Drew says that between a ShotSpotter alert and a 911 call, the only thing that changes for an officer is how quickly they can respond to a scene. He also says it's short-sighted to only use data to evaluate how effective the technology is at reducing gun violence.
So how do you measure that? The public feeling safe and their perception?
Because he says he knows there are many times when someone shoots a gun and no one calls.
So sending an officer in that neighborhood, an officer getting out and looking around, that sends a message to that community that they do matter to me.
In Newport News, Evan Watson reporting for 13 News Now.
ShotSpotter says police departments know its technology is effective, as evidenced by high renewal rates and some crime data. The company also criticizes the Chicago study by saying it includes flawed and incomplete data.
Last month, Portsmouth city leaders said they are considering adding ShotSpotter sensors, and Chesapeake Police Chief Kelvin Wright said he's looking at similar technology that would cover a wider area at a lower cost.